Now that is another myth that still gets around. It is a kind of over-reliance on the bootstrap philosophy. And there are those who still feel that if the Negro is to rise out of poverty, if the Negro is to rise out of slum conditions, if he is to rise out of discrimination and segregation, he must do it all by himself. And so they say the Negro must lift himself by his own bootstraps. They never stop to realize that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. The people who say this never stop to realize that the nation made the black man's color a stigma. But beyond this, they never stop to realize the debt that they owe a people who were kept in slavery 244 years. In 1863, the Negro was told that he was free as a result of the Emancipation Proclamation being signed by Abraham Lincoln. But he was not given any land to make that freedom meaningful. It was something like keeping a person in prison for a number of years and suddenly discovering that that person is not guilty of the crime for which he was convicted. And you just go up to him and say, now you're free. But you don't give him any bus fare to get to town. You don't give him any money to get some clothes to put on his back or to get on his feet again in life. Every code of jurisprudence would rise up against this. Anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Don't
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Cassidra? How you doing?
What is up? What is going on here? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing today, first and
I'm
foremost?
good. Amazing.
Yeah.
How
And
was your day at work?
Oh, it was, well, other than
Work is work, ain't it?
I couldn't even answer that one. I was trying to.
You was like, wait.
But it's always good to be alive. It gives me an
Yeah.
opportunity to not have to do that no more.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Facts. Shouts out to Anthony in the building. Shouts out to MG2 in the building. Appreciate y'all coming on. And consider it, yo. Before we get into it, I want to say this because we were supposed to come on yesterday, but but they have my channel on, or the channel that we on, blocked. So they gave me this channel a strike for medical misinformation, even though we didn't say nothing about medicine or nothing at all about it. But I kind of expect that, and I've been through this like before with them, and so, but I got the other channel in there. So next time if this happens, and I'm gonna show you, I got the link to the other channel. Make sure y'all on there because we just gonna go on that channel like we was doing before, right? So this is the other channel here. And so, and then of course we had other lives that we did probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know, the last time they would start doing this, so make sure that y'all on it. So next time, because next time we just gonna go on at the regular time. So and I appreciate you for coming on here, considering, and I know this is a different time.
I wish we knew what the problem was, so maybe we don't do it again. But it's just like, whatever. Because I know on my old page, right, they've been taking down videos left and right. All my king videos, all of my videos talking about black men, positive videos, they've taken them down. I'm like, you know what? We need our own platform. That's plain and simple. We do. We need it's. We have a lot of black folk that's in technology. I don't understand why we don't have our own platform by now. I don't. I don't get it.
Yeah, and I remember last time we was talking about this, like, because I had brothers on who was trying to develop at Koku. He's the one who was trying to develop a platform, and then we tried to get on platforms like Fanbase and other platforms, which is like, I guess, because if like, we can talk on those platforms, but you can't really show any videos or show anything on
Oh,
there.
really? What about Discord? Okay, what about Discord? Isn't Discord a black one?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Mhm. Okay, because I know Discord was another one that people were there, but I don't know if you can go on like live or stuff. But we ought to be able to establish stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why all these tech savvy men that we have, I don't know why a couple of them don't get together and create our own, and we just support it. It can be done if we want to do stuff. Just like you see Trump doing all this DI stuff and stuff and black folk whining. And I'm like, when are we going to stop whining about stuff that white folk do? They do shit all the time. Why do we care? Create your own. I think this is a way of God making us separate from them. And we are so blinded and we are just so stuck on white folk that we can't think about separating. We can't think about doing stuff for ourselves. We can't even think about owning our own platforms, owning our own schools, owning our own hospitals, owning our own wellness centers, owning our own birthing centers. We can't think about doing anything without them. I don't understand that. Because my thing is, I think sometimes it's right, like right now, it is time to separate. Because whatever punishment they got coming down the bend, we gonna get part of it. Because y'all sleeping with them, you're married to them, you're eating behind them, you're loving on them. You just can't do without white folk. What's wrong with you, black people? We can't think to do nothing for ourselves. Come on. I don't understand that. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah, and
You too.
shouts out to
Welcome.
Matron in the building.
Yeah,
Appreciate
matron.
you coming
Hey.
through.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
understand.
yeah,
I
and
wish we had, I wish we could come up with a thought and understand that sometimes things happen for a reason. Maybe he's shutting all this stuff down for us to separate and do our own thing because we can do our own. Just take your money away from them. That's all we have to do. And I guarantee you that'll make them think twice. But guess what? You think twice, you come into our tables and we making the deals, not you. But we won't do it. We so busy, scared to do without white folk. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure that out.
and let me all right, so because you le- brought up the topic that we want to talk about, my brother Anthony. What's going on, my brother? You on mute?
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Forecast and consider. Hey, man, y'all give me a
Hey.
minute. I'm gonna put all this stuff up, and I'll be on.
All right. All right, you can stay on, bro. And yeah, there you go. All right, so I ain't gonna talk about this, but I'll maybe come on and talk about it like tomorrow or another day, someday. Uh, now this was a brother named Benjamin Roberts. He filed one of the first and back in the 1800s, right? Uh, civil rights kind of thing before they start talking about civil rights, right? Because his daughter was 5 years old who needed to go to school, but the only school was a white school. But this is and we'll get into all of these at another time, because I want to show you other stuff and we want to talk about and this is another thing I want people to kind of look into. Now, this brother named James Hamlet, right? He was like, I what they had back then was the Fugitive Slave Act, so where a whole bunch of black people was getting kidnapped or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like movies like 12 Years a Slave it kind of shows it a little bit. But black people back then ended up fighting. So what they had was the Chris I can't the riots and whatever. Well, basically black people was whipping ass,
Mm-hmm.
So then they came up with this, the bloodhound law or whatever. And this is, I mean, it's not anything that's new here. You know, they repeat it over and over, right? So we're not going to talk about this right now. We're going to go on to the next thing. So we're not on here. Now, some of this first stuff that I want to show you before we get into it, it might make you kind of mad, consider it. But it kind of demonstrates the point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, all right, I'm going to play this first one. And my computer might mess up. Hopefully it don't. So we'll see. And then they got all these commercials.
New details about the 18-year-old man shot and killed by Knox County deputies this morning. In the last half hour, the TBI issued a new release with more information.
10 News reporter Lauren Lovett spoke with the family of that suspect and breaks down the new details we are learning late this afternoon.
John Robin, the family tells me Devon St. Germain was excited to finish high school. He had spent the last year saving up to buy a box truck to become a delivery driver. In that release from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, that agency says deputies with the Knox County Sheriff's Office were conducting a search warrant around 7 this morning on Sevierville Pike. The TBI says when SWAT deputies attempted to arrest St. Germain, the situation escalated, and they are investigating why deputies fired shots. The Knox County Sheriff's Office says St. Germain displayed a firearm. The family tells me the suspect's mother was handcuffed and children in the house were taken outside. His grandmother says St. Germain was asleep when officers arrived.
So here they bust in this house, right? They claim, oh, well, he had a gun or whatever, but he was asleep, and they bust in and do one of them, raise.
This child was laying in his bed, so what is y'all story of going in that child's room, shooting him in his room? What was the story?
His grandmother, Ernestine Seiler, and other family members say officers never showed a search warrant before entering the home. They say they'll never recover from their loss. Family members tell me St. Germain was a student at South Doyle High School. A Knox County school spoke.
This was a high school student. I'll play their family.
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is looking into why Knox County deputies shot and killed an 18-year-old while they were conducting a search warrant.
10 News reporter Lauren Lovett spoke with the family of that suspect, and you're here to share more about what you're learning from them and from investigators tonight, Lauren.
John Robin, Devon St. Germain was a senior at South Doyle High School. His family tells me he was excited to graduate and become a delivery driver. Deputies attempted to arrest firearm. His grandmother says St. Germain was asleep when officers arrived. The family says they'll never recover from their loss.
You take a baby's life, and I never know how I feel to lose a child because my 3 are still here, but my brother was killed the same way. And today is his birthday, and now I'm missing my brother, and then I'm going to be missing my cousin on the same day.
Latoya Thomas, St. Germain's cousin, says she was at work when she heard what happened. She and several other family members gathered together to comfort St. Germain's parents.
Now, keep in mind, he didn't do anything. He's not even the person they was looking for, But, you see that, Cassidra?
I tell you, I'm so sick of them. I just don't know what. I'm just so sick of it. It makes no sense. I mean, they never do white folk like this. Never. How many white folk we know die by their hands, like stuff like this? Just search warrants and search. We never hear it. Why don't we ever hear that? Where are attorneys to file lawsuits for us? Because I know we have civil rights attorneys besides Trump and Bump, okay? But whatever the other dude's name is, right? Why are our attorneys filing lawsuits for us? We know what's going on. So nobody's willing to fight it. Nobody's willing to stand. Nobody's willing to do anything about it. But so, what you gonna do? We've gotten so used to it. We're so dead to it that we see it and we move on. We don't even, pay any attention to it. We gotten so numb to it, which is sad.
Yeah. And one of the things, too, when I used to talk about all of these, because it's also to say, so that we remember as many people as we can, you know what I'm saying? Like the names of all of these people this stuff that nobody would ever know about, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna go this kind of quick, but check this out. Now, it was a different person, but all right. So this 11-year-old girl, they arrested and handcuffed and accused her of stealing a car.
Oh my Lord!
And so here is the sheriff defending the deputies who handcuffed this little girl. I wanted to show the video because
Hospital markups.
matter of fact, I will, because I think you need to see the part of like
now taxes.
That's just crazy. That's crazy to me. I mean, how many do we ever see white girls being handcuffed like this? Ever? And no more lawsuits. We don't even get together and file lawsuits. We ought to be filing lawsuits like crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can play the video.
Wait, I'm actually so confused. I'm scared. There's another one right there. I'm staying with her. You guys can keep going. No, I gotta stay with her. This is my sister. We're coming from school. We were literally all just playing in the yard. Okay, well, like I just said, you're just being detained right now. It's not her. I promise we have. That's not her. Wait, can I get her phone this time?
I refuse to lie and tell me that's not you.
I'm not lying. That's not me. Her shoe don't wait. Her shoe not have no pick around it.
You can't see. Listen, it is what it is. If you're honest, it'll make it easy.
It's not her.
See, always trying to lie.
All right, all right. Come in, undo your handcuffs now, okay? So you're gonna grab your backpack forward.
This is crazy. This is crazy, Rick. All right.
I mean, I'm sorry. You could see how they could match that. Like,
I don't. The braids are way longer than that.
Oh, you know, all black people look alike.
Exactly. So what he just took after he traumatized PTSD this baby. Now you're gonna just say, I'm sorry, bitch. You're gonna be sorry. Yes. We're going right down, press charges. So we can seriously, this is enough is enough. See, this is why they keep doing stuff. We don't do anything about it. We don't do nothing about it. How many black people probably walked past or probably drove past, seeing this incident, didn't even stop? Who do you think trafficking your baby's family? They are. What if her friends wasn't out there? Was it going to take her to jail? What was it going? She was going to come up missing, right? You're not going to tell me that these police officers aren't doing some of this trafficking. Chinese shops aren't doing some of these trafficking. CPS is not doing some of these shopping. You're not going to tell me that they're not having anything to do with these children coming up missing. So if she had been out there, her friends wasn't talking, and the picture they said didn't even look like the little girl.
Yeah.
She had like the girl. They think she had a red coat on. Hers is pink. The coat didn't even match. It was something that they said didn't match. So you PTS gave this girl post-traumatic syndrome, okay? And now what? I'm sorry? No, I'm sorry. It's not good enough. I want your job. This is why we have to talk about the bonds for the wins, going after their bonds. People don't understand that. Go after their bonds. They have to have their bonds to work. You take their bonds, they can't work. If you find that they don't know what they're doing, go after their bonds. Everybody has bonds. Who holds a public seat or who deals with the public has a bond. And you go after their bonds, they can't work. But we won't do it. But we complain all the time, but do nothing. And I rest my mic.
Yeah, and Mason say, yeah, they overestimate the age of our children, right? And they act like they are adults or something.
They act like they do. They don't overestimate nothing. They know that's a baby. They say they do. I ain't buying that crap. They ain't overestimate nothing. They know word salads. They using word salads. Then the picture that they took out didn't even look like the girl. Then I'm sorry. What you mean you sorry? You don't know how to, you're blind? You wear glasses? But you coming in our neighborhood traumatizing our babies. She out playing, having a good old time. And here they come. No.
Yeah. Let me play the other, play this one.
On the lookout for alleged car thieves, 2 Onondaga County Sheriff's deputies put an 11-year-old in handcuffs Monday afternoon.
We're coming from school. We were literally all just playing in the yard.
The deputies ignore that explanation from the group of kids who were on their way home from Brighton Academy Middle School. About half an hour before this, the sheriff says deputies got a description for a girl who allegedly ran from a stolen car. The suspect's photo, captured by a deputy's dash cam, is on the left. The girl they wrongly detained is on the right.
Girl, you gonna tell me this ain't you?
In the video, the girls insist they have the wrong person.
Oh my God, are you serious? Did they even look alike?
Was in
Go back to that picture for Cass. Go back to the picture. Come on, go back to the picture. Yep. Okay, sit right there. Y'all, they need to stop. So that girl right there, they say stole a car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But hold on, let me keep playing it. Watch.
The deputies apologize. Sheriff Toby Shelley says they did everything correctly.
They handcuff her, which is a normal procedure.
Oh my God.
Especially based on a number of juveniles we have dealt with that have weapons.
Shelley says that's the main part, given what he calls rampant juvenile crime. Use handcuffs immediately. Even as the video, captured by the 11-year-old's cousin, reveals a scene where the kids are confused but calm. Should deputies not have assessed the fact that this girl does not seem to be in a situation where she knows that she's on the run right now?
If I was on the run, I'd hide in plain view.
An 11-year-old, though? To have the wherewithal for that?
We have 13-year-olds stealing guns. And
we said 11-year-old. We're not talking about 13-year-olds.
She was out with her friends playing in the snow.
And you are looking from hindsight.
The New York Civil Liberties Union condemned the deputies' actions, joining other community leaders frustrated by how deputies treated the girl.
There's so many layers that are involved in this that could have been addressed so that she did not have to experience this undue traumatic encounter.
This girl's mother tells us she could not comprehend what she saw when she watched the video.
Even if it wasn't my child, I wouldn't be able to.
Traumatize it, baby.
That's not how you handle children.
Should all members of the public just understand that at any moment their freedom could be restricted because they match a description for a suspect for something?
It could happen.
But it never happens to you.
You heard that, right? He said at any time you could lose your whatever.
Exactly, but it never happens to them. So here's my next question is, why doesn't it happen to your children? That's what I need to know. Why always our children? We don't do enough questioning. We have to understand what's really going on here. The people didn't even, the two girls didn't even look alike. So why is it that it's always our babies? Why never yours? Because I'm white and I say so? Is that it? That's what it sounds like to me. Then you go to his boss who's going to justify it. So we got all three people, we got incompetence. So guess what? You guys don't need your jobs if you can't look at a photo and see if you're talking to the right person or not.
Yeah. And shouts out to Kofi and
it was
Nicole
illegal.
Smith.
Like Kofi said, it was illegal for them to even talk to the young ladies without parents.
Right.
And you had the nerves to handcuff. What is 11-year-old? You handcuffed 11-year-old. Then the police, who is it? The chief said, "Well, we found 13-year-old. We're not talking about 13-year-old. We're talking about 11-year-olds who was out there playing. So what did she do with that damn car after she got done stealing it? You said she stole the car, but she's out there playing in the snow. What did she do with the car? Where's the car that you say she stole?" Okay, I rest.
You know, all Negroes, look, any young boy or girl, any black person, period, old, young, with a pinkish looking coat was like in danger in that area, you know. Yeah. And I'm not gonna play this one, but you know, I could, because this is another one where they detained the wrong person again, you know. So I will skip that one.
They want us to get used to that, huh?
Yeah. But so we'll go to because you know we talk about the school thing a lot too, and being in your own school and how important that stuff is. But so
these students called chimpanzee and slave by classmates was put in an institution for mass. Another disturbing story out of a school system. In New Jersey, a leak report commissioned by the school board to look into anti-Black racism at its magnet high school focused on global business and diplomacy reveals that Black students and teachers have endured racism and acts of bigotry since 2020 from the school's predominantly Latino students.
What? Not the Latinos.
Not the Black and brown. Come on, that coalition. Come on.
Effective responses from the school's staff.
So they was fresh out of cages talking about some chimpanzee and slaves. That's crazy. Ain't
So
that
the
something?
board of
Right off the boat,
Education,
huh?
board member Don Haynes' daughter, Akila, was among a group of Black students who transferred out of the School of Global Studies due to the ongoing harassment. Since then, the school board has attempted to oust Haynes, whose daughter filed a legal claim against the school in the month of October, alleging, and this is a quote, religious, racial, and gender discrimination. Harassment also that caused physical and physiological or psychological, harm. The board claims Haynes is now has now a conflict of interest and could harm the district. In December, the state administrative law judge disagreed and rejected the board's effort to unseat Haynes. The state's commission.
All right, so I'll show you one more about the schools. You know, because I like to show y'all what's
But
going
this is
on
one
in the
reason why you need to educate your own. And when we gonna get it? How much more of this has to happen? Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Black teens racially harassed by classmates. You will say, that's kind of normal. We've heard that. But also,
that's just normal. Okay.
School newspaper. Put it up full mass.
I'm done.
This is a twist on something already twisted. A Black North Carolina teen, Black North Carolina teens
Let's go.
have been called cockroaches in school, in the school newspaper,
Oh my goodness.
faced more racist attacks from adults after a local broadcast aired their experience. That's according to a now filed lawsuit. A federal appeals court decided this week to allow Davina Ricketts, a former North Carolina high school student, to continue pursuing her racial discrimination lawsuit against the Wake County Public School System, its Board of Education, and numerous school officials. Ricketts.
All right. Anyway, I'll stop it right there so we can go on.
Wake County. Okay. That's a predominantly white. So when are we going to stop putting our children in these predominantly white schools? Now, they can come to our schools. They can come and hang around our children. Jeffrey Dahmer, okay, who was eating Black people. He was around, Black people for 10 years and nothing happened. Let us go around their schools. Let us go in their neighborhoods. And you got crosses burning in your yards. You got your children being harassed. So when are we going to understand? Stops. You think you're getting a better education for your children? Are you really? What are they really getting besides PTSD? Harassed. What are they really getting? Are they getting a better education? Being called, all kind of stuff. So this is a lesson for us. When are we going to get tired of this? I'm tired of it. I don't want to see little Black babies go through this. I'm tired of seeing it. So come from among. Ain't that what the word said? The word says come from among, be ye separate and learn not. When are we going to do that? This is why we stay at the bottom right here. Because we always think going around white folk is the best thing for you. Come from among them, and be ye separate. I rest.
Yeah, facts. And Mason says schools are indoctrination centers where we send our children to be terrorized by open enemies every day.
Every day, every single day. Now you take them, you on their jobs being terrorized, and then you send your children to their schools to be terrorized. Make it make sense, family. Instead of us getting out of college and creating our own lanes, you're trying to squeeze into their lanes. Still being harassed on these jobs. Still, every day you're being harassed. Every day you go there, you're harassed. But you don't think about creating your own lanes. Creating your own this, that, and the other. Why is it? Why not? What is it going to take? Us talking about it another 10 years before Black folk get it? Let's do something different. I rest.
Yeah. And all right, before we get into the main thing, I want to show you one more thing. I thought I had two, but I had another one, but I didn't pull it up. But anyway, this is brother here.
Oh,
He got it. Because I had two of them that kind of go right into it, but I can't find out. I don't know what I did with the other one. I was trying to rush for real, to be honest with you. So
thanks to all my subs. Retired cop. He just got married. Okay.
To a
white woman by
is she
name of
black?
Katsiarna Shashoka.
White girl.
I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I'm not sure. Of course, this is not an American white person, but this man, Anthony Williams, he's in snow bunny heaven. You know, just got married. She's 34 years of age. He's 63. They were on their honeymoon, traveling from Arizona to Miami. Now, this went down in September of 2022, but there's some things about this situation in the news now because lawsuits and stuff like that. So these two are on the plane, minding their own business. They're flicking it up. They're taking pictures. They're smiling. They're going to their honeymoon, okay? They're traveling to Miami. They're traveling to Miami for a honeymoon. So while they're on the plane, some nosy white American passengers seen them, went and told the flight crew that they believed that this black man, Anthony Williams, was trafficking his white wife. Okay? Some nosy white American person went and caused this chaos.
Very stressful when you're trying to go to your honeymoon and enjoy
That's what it
time.
was.
So you know you're being pulled over by police, flight attendants, for something you didn't do anything wrong.
Attorney Ben Taylor is talking about this case filed last week. It alleges a couple pictured here. Anthony Williams, a black man, was falsely accused of human trafficking his wife, Cassadracheek Shashoka. So a couple was headed to their tropical honeymoon on a flight from Phoenix to Miami.
Whenever you just assume something, that's going to get you in trouble.
Oh my God.
And here it shows that the airline attendants just assumed they.
Oh man, considering
How do you assume that he's trafficking his wife? Did they check the passports? When you get on, you have passports that say Mr. and Mrs. Right? What are you talking about? You cannot. I cannot with these people. I swear I can't. I swear I can't. I can't. It don't even make sense. Make it make sense. He shouldn't have been with her in the first place. Oh, Lord, I don't understand.
Hold on, consider. I remember the other one. I want to pull it up real quick.
This is crazy
because it's gonna kind of go into it, and I got. Oh, you know what? I'll show it next time. I don't know if you saw the video where like the white girl was at the black dude's house or whatever, and he was pulling up and she just like lied right there.
What? You need to pull it up.
All right, hold on, because I wanted to show it before we get into the main topic.
Yes.
All right.
That's crazy. How do you get? I wonder if they put him. What did they do? Did they arrest the man with the who's accused of trafficking his wife? How do you traffic your own wife? Somebody was mad, a hater, huh? Probably a Karen or Brad.
All right.
My goodness.
Let me see. Hopefully it pull out.
What about the black guy that they just showed last week? I think he was pulling up at his house and the white woman was on his porch.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Oh my God. I'm gonna send that one to you. That thing was crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now. It keeps freezing though.
Oh my God. She on his porch and he asking him, do you live here? Why do I have to explain to you? Do you live here? If you know, why you on my porch? He said, yeah. She said, I don't believe you. What? And then ran down the street talking, help.
That was the funniest part right there.
Man, that thing was funny, but I bet you he was scared. He said, I ain't go outside.
He was scared to death.
He was so scared he didn't know what to do. Can you imagine? She running down the street and the police coming. They coming. I'd have closed my door and I wouldn't even answer my door. I'd have let them knock. I don't have to open my door because police knocking my door. It's my door. They'd have been like, well, ma'am, nobody's home. So, man, please get out of here. You don't have to open your door to them. That's your house. They knock, you want to open, you can open the door. But if not, you don't have to open your door. You pay the mortgage on that house. That thing was funny though, man.
Yeah.
I was scared. He done went in there and told his wife, honey, white lady running down the street, I help. Help. This ain't my house. It's crazy. Oh man, how you gonna be on somebody else's porch talking about what's not theirs? You belong there? You didn't even. She didn't even belong there. He said she was like 2 blocks down. How did you even? Why was you there? Why was you at that man's on his property anyway? On his porch? What was you trying to look in the mirror? What was you trying to look in the window to see whose house, who was living in there? What in the world? That's crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
All right, I got it. My bad, y'all. Because it's definitely messing up. All right, my bad. All right, here we go.
Let me know. I probably can show it on my end if you need. Okay, you got it.
All right, yeah.
Do you live here?
What is she
You
on
do?
his porch?
I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Right, come on.
She done left the stroller and everything on his porch. Look at that. What the hell?
Did someone come here?
Now, this black man is lucky this is not 60-some years ago.
You ain't lying. What
Because,
the
like,
hell?
no joke, like you know how many people really probably died because of that?
Yes,
like on some
because
real
of that. And
talk?
her stroller is still on his porch. Why is your
Mhm.
stroller in his porch?
Right.
She done left the stroller running down the street calling help. Man, get that woman some. You need to get her some medication.
Now, I was trying to find the other one because she said she came back on there like, oh yeah, I'm not racist and all this other nonsense.
We
But
already know you
Who
ain't.
chased her?
She said somebody in the silver truck.
A gray truck, and he came around the corner, and I was in the street, and so I come up and I see my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like,
She got all worried that
That's not funny.
No,
That's not funny. So, Coach, she sat up there and lied. Did you hear her lying?
Yeah, sat up there and lied.
She lied.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell them that she was on his porch. And he asked her, "Are you looking for somebody?" And she goes, "Do you live here?" She didn't even, that story didn't even come out of her mouth because she knows she was going to look like a fool. You know, somebody else's porch hollering, "Do you live here?" Do you live here? Why you on my porch? Get off. I'm glad that was his house and not mine, because she wouldn't have been sitting up there talking about, "Do you live here? Do you live here? What's your address? Show me your license. Where you live? Why you over here on my porch? On my property?" He needs some no trespassing signs up, especially for her.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's crazy.
Let me see.
You are telling me that I owe a public apology. One, I will
No, they don't have tear ducts, so you ain't gonna see damn tear coming down.
not apologize for making any sort of racist
I'm convinced
remark.
they don't have tear ducts for real though.
The furthest thing from a racist.
Oh God, girl.
I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever
Oh my God.
come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So
You look like a fool.
She an ally, Cassandra. I don't know what she's talking about. She's one of the good white people.
Oh, so Nicole said that was a suburb in Ohio near Columbus. Is that a predominantly white area, Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. Man, y'all black folk better come up out of Ohio. Ohio is terrible. Y'all better come up out of Ohio.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So she getting on there with her fake self, trying to apologize for not being a racist, for being a racist and making a fool out of herself. That's crazy. I love it. You cannot make this stuff up. You can't.
Yeah, she's up there squinting her face up like, yo, they've never, like, look at every time they try to cry, it's never no tears, and they always squish their face up like that. I know they don't have tear duct because they can't. It's not possible. They don't cry. That's impossible, But all right, so let's get into this whole thing, Cassidra. So this will lead up into it. This is a Detroit pastor.
Oh,
yeah,
God, okay.
Your brother.
Yeah.
Speaking to inaugurate y'all boy. I came from underneath the bed to talk about this today.
We pray that we would fulfill the true meaning of our creed. We hold these.
Speaking of that, shouts out to Martin Luther King, whose birthday was the other day. So that's why I played at the beginning.
Feel the true meaning of our creed. That we hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal. We pray that you use our president.
Look at that man.
We will live in a nation. We will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful today that you will use our 47th president. So we would sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
This your pastor patron? You go to his church.
Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside.
That's out the MAK. It cannot be had.
Let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, we believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. Or from the mighty mountains of New York.
This is not like 1920 on like, I wish I could show y'all like the recordings of the black people that was talking. They talk just like him. Like he's bucking his eyes, he's doing everything. All right. So we can stop there. I ain't gonna say
M2, we need him up here.
Yes.
Come on up here.
Yo, we definitely gonna need you up here because I ain't gonna debate with nobody today.
M2. Right. Oh my goodness.
I'll let y'all debate with yourselves. All right.
Oh my God.
So let's
slave preacher that knows the white folks are listening. Exactly. Matron, man, we can't lose with them brothers.
And they really did. Like sent them in front of the congregation.
He was so dramatic with it. Oh man, tis of thee.
Now I'm gonna play this. All right. So listen to what he says.
Not an American because originally you were slaves. And
I was talking about black people.
And you're not an American because originally you were slaves and you didn't even have value in terms of the political system. Then they were given like 3/8 of the value, right? Of 3/5. Thank you. In my world, it was 3/8, but I live in a utopia. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, you was not given 3/8 the value or 3/5 or whatever.
Well, what was Neanderthals given?
Yeah, you are the value. Right? You are the product, not the value ever. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
You are the slave. You, as we just see.
No, I'm just kidding. But it was like 3/5, and you go down, and it's like then amendments were made, and there was adjustments that gave you citizenship and the right to vote, but it didn't make you an American. It just gave you American citizenship. It gave you legal right, and that's why.
Now it did not give you citizenship, though. He's wrong about that. You ain't no damn citizen, right? Because you don't have. Malcolm X had common sense enough to know this in the 60s, right? Without all of without the internet and all of the information we have at our fingertips, like he said, do they pass laws for citizenships to have like a civil rights thing if you're a damn citizen in the first place, right? A part of all of this, and people don't realize, right? I don't know about now. He might shake it up. But every 25 years they vote whether the renew the Voters' Right Act of 1960. And I remember Bush was the one that had to renew it. So I guess Biden had to renew it or something like that. But they don't like be like, okay, we don't have to do this anymore because they are citizens. They're like, okay, we're going to renew this act to allow this group of people who are a slave class to be able to vote. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
It doesn't take a genius to notice that black people and white people in America look, act, behave fundamentally different, both individually and collectively. Now, that's not
all facts because they are savages and they they have Neanderthal blood in their system.
Exactly. So he's right. I agree. Go ahead.
But the problem is, though, what they won't do is allow black people to teach their children anything, right?
Exactly.
What they won't do is
they call it CRT, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not going to send them to all black schools and say, hey, please let us. Now, they're going to take your information and your money and all of this stuff, but they're going to exclude you at the end of the day. You understand? Right. So.
Not to say that black people aren't valuable in the eyes of God. It's not to say that white people are better than black people, even if they are. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So.
That's why he called them serpent people. He called them serpent people. So what's he talking about? He said there's nothing good in them. Nothing. So who's he talking about? Oh, okay. I was just wondering. So he's reversing everything. And that's what they do. They reverse everything. They, you upset. They upset. They say you upset. We already know where they came from. Caucasus Mountains. That's their area. And that's what they need to go back to. Going back up in the mountains.
Right, and this is why I try to tell you, right? You gotta study. You gotta study psychopaths. Right, they do that. It's called projection. They do all. They have. If you study the tales of a psychopath, then you look at what they always and have historically done. That's just what it is. And then they gaslight you and they use projection. Right, they need you to bow down to them as if they are the gods type of thing. And you. Subservient to that, you know what I'm saying? So
not me.
Anyway, let's play their boy here because who got him off.
Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one.
Get to the right part.
It's not going to stop, but we're going to stop the destructive and divisive diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates all across the government.
Good.
The private sector in return our country to the merit system,
Merit system.
The Supreme Court ruled that the United States is allowed to go by the merit system, which is what made us great in the first place. That was a big ruling.
It was also slavery, like a free labor for like hundreds of years. That also helped. But anyway.
A lot of people don't even know about, but it was a big, tremendous ruling. And you're focusing on character, competence, and qualifications in all hiring decisions. Now you're allowed to go by competence and ability and genius.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to hire somebody to send up one of his rocket ships that doesn't know anything about what's happening. As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other topics of great public interest.
Well, with JFK, the chicken simply came home to roost, and probably RFK too.
Okay.
Now with MLK, listen, they shot him in the face, right? And they try to tell you be like Martin Luther King. Well, they shot him in the face. I don't want to get shot in the face, so I am not going to be on some integration talk about love because they'll shoot you in the face if you do that. As we see, you know what I'm saying. So I'm good on that route. But yo, my brother MD2 is in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Peace, you guys. I'm just enjoying it. It's just all I could say is yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, si, senor.
Behave him.
It's just quite remarkable as I see the collapse of this, Neanderthal environment, for lack of a better term. The thing is, like I tell folks, to just strap up and enjoy the ride. A lot of folks have been out of shape because of the rollback of the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, 1965 and all this. I mean, you had brought up a renewal of quote unquote civil rights. And what is quite remarkable is this so-called renewal of civil rights is more often than your Amazon subscription, your driver's license, at least your driver's license, it's like 20 years or something. It just seems to be that, unfortunately, we've fallen for the okie doke of trying to look for validation from someone else. As I've been telling folks, I could care less about their so-called civil rights because they're nothing more than civil wrongs. It's like me trying to find validation, from an otter or from a penguin. These are animals. And I don't look for validation or any kind of acceptance or any kind of rationalization out of a duck. I'd be out of my mind. And so therefore, as long as I know that, what I'm dealing with when I'm dealing with these Neanderthals is I'm dealing with something that is not even close to human. Anything they do, say, whatever mandates, laws, measures, rules, dictates, doctrines, protocols, it means nothing to me. It's a joke. And unfortunately, if you ever really want to get a really good case in point in terms of how we've been duped, there's an old Star Trek episode from the original Star Trek, and they were going to this OK Corral. And basically what had happened is the Klingons they had hypnotized the Enterprise crew to think that they were on this, this OK Corral and they were going to have a gunfight. And Spock had to go in and give them the mind meld to say, hey, man, these folks ain't, these things ain't even real. If you let them be real, they'll kill you. Unfortunately, we've allowed these demons be so real in our minds, be real in our activities. Whatever they say and do, Brother Forecast, should mean nothing to you. Act as if your own nation. And I'm talking about African people who hopefully one day will. In other words, getting rid of that fear. You brought up the situations that were happening of the injustices, and I'm glad you played Introverted Rockstar. He's one of my favorites that I've been watching quite a bit. Of course, Taylor House Publishing, a lot of them are showing the injustices, but those injustices will only happen if we expect something from someone else. It's as simple as this. Don't get caught. Do what you have to do as an African people, like Robert F. Williams, like Mark Essex, Colin Ferguson. Do what you got to do and just don't get caught. Because it's a rule of self-preservation. That's all it is. Now, most Negroes will sit back and say, oh, he's starting something. He ain't. I know, that's what I expect out of a slave. But bottom line is, if you want to survive, self-preservation is the key to survival. Not only just for yourself, but for a race. There's an old movie back in 1981 called The Star Chamber. I mentioned it many a time on the other channel. It was with Yaphet Kotto and Michael Douglas. And the tagline is, they took your justice and hid it in their law. Remember, their laws mean nothing and should mean nothing to you. These are the same conversations we had back in, what was it, Brother Forecast? Was it back in 1728 or was it 1717? The same conversations we're having now that you and I are talking right now. I think they were had back then.
I think it was 1708, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. 1708. The same conversations that we're having right now we had back then. So clearly, the only thing that has changed is the calendar date. Okay, so all I can tell Black folk is, and Richie, Rashad Richie, and all this. If you don't want this stuff to continue to happen, as Dr. John Henrik Clarke said, hey, take care of it. Nobody needs to know who did it. Nobody needs to know, how. They'll know why. They just say, just take care of it and don't get caught. I'll pass the mic.
Now, MD2, I gotta push back against you real quick, right? Now, everybody knows, right? LBJ said, I'll have these N words, like we it's only been 70 years, right? We got another 130 years. Trump might cut it from 200 years where we comfortable and we can like have our allies and we can be like kind of blinded but Trump might cut it to 100 years. So like he cutting off like 100 years of, it could be cutting off like 100 years of delusion. You think he's pushing back against LBJ, like giving us this thing to feel comfortable with?
Exactly. I think Trump might cut it into the next 2 years for us. I mean, and if he does, it's not like I care. Bottom line is, I hear this term a lot bandied about around, especially black folks. Man, I wonder what it's going to be life under Trump. No, I'm not under Trump. Melania is under Trump, not me. I don't get down like that. I wasn't under Biden or anyone else. I mean, the bottom line is, hey, as you say, he might have cut it 100 years. I think he's cutting it down to 2, but I could care less, because that's his ambitions for his species. For again, they're not our species, and all I know is if they get in the way, 3 simple words is black folks don't get caught. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say this. I only say 100 years because it's probably still going to take us another 30 years to catch on. So that's all I'm saying. And I don't know if my brother Anthony is there. And consider you want to say something? Consider?
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead. I'll wait on Consider.
Go ahead, Anthony. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, man. How's everybody doing, man? What's up, Forecast? How you doing, man?
Brother, what's going on?
Hey, Consider. How you doing, Consider?
I'm good, Anthony. How are you?
Yeah, my man MG2. How you doing, brother? How you doing? What's going on, man?
Always good. Always good to hear you.
Man, look here. It's like, I mean, man, I love listening to that MG2 song because he be taking the words right out my damn mouth. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he was talking about that Klingon episode, man. I remember that one. I think it came on the other night, man. But MG2, hey, man, he's 100% right, man. Man, we got to do what we got to do, bro. We got to do what we got to do. And like you said, just don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? I think we was talking about this last time. Remember, we were saying, what was it considered when we was talking about how I think the police was fucking over some brother or sister. And when we were saying that what you gotta do, we gotta stop being scared, stop being some punks. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta send them motherfuckers to some funerals. You know what I'm saying? You gotta send them hunkies to some funerals. That if you want that shit to stop, that's how it's gonna stop. Send up your crying and marching and hands up and all that, ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? You need to make them motherfucker feel the same pain you feel. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, look here, the most beautiful sound that I ever heard was bagpipes on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
You.
For some motherfucking crack, some motherfucking pigs getting buried. You know what I'm saying? Because for all of the motherfucking brothers and sisters that they done killed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I be thinking about Mark Essex, man. Don't you know, we was talking about Mark Essex last week, man. You know, because, that happened right here in my state of Louisiana, you know what I'm saying, in New Orleans. You know what? Where he said he had enough of that bullshit, and he showed us what to do. Where they say, well, he ended up dead. Well, nigga, you dead already, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You dead already. You living a dead life already. Because see, okay, like MG2 said, I don't, look here, whatever rules and regulations these motherfuckers make, they don't mean a goddamn thing. They shouldn't mean a goddamn thing to us. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna win playing his game? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna win playing their motherfucking game? They can always change the rules on you. Oh, well, you can't do this. You can't do that. No, we got to play our motherfucking game. Okay, I understand. Yeah, well, we here, we in the country. Okay, well, like I said, okay, all right, we'll act like we playing this shit. But you know what? When they ain't looking, we gonna do our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like MG2 said, hey, just get away with it. You know what I'm saying? And we can get away with a lot of shit. Because we can get away with a lot of shit with each other. And I know we can get away with a lot of shit on their ass. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to stop being some motherfucking punks, man, and go on and do. Because and I'm talking about us as the men, because for a long time, our sisters have led the way in a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? They led the way. I mean, they done stood up more than we have. We done stood up, but I mean, we need to catch up, though, man. We need to catch up. You know, we got people like Cassidra out here doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the stance that she has. You know what I'm saying? Even though we may have differences here and there, but you know what? The sisters are 100% black. No, you know what I'm saying? 100% for us. You know what I'm saying? And here we go. We sit up here, we wavering. We don't. Well, oh man, I don't know. Oh, well, what about this? No, man, fuck that. Remember what Yah Santawa told Ashanti men? She said, if y'all ain't gonna fight, sit your ass in there, go in the kitchen and cook some food for us while we fight. But we got to get off our motherfucking ass and do some shit, man. And we gotta stop being scared. And like I said, we need to fuck their laws, all that shit. You know, we need to do our own thing. like I said, but like MG2 said, just don't get caught. I'll rest my mic, man.
Yeah, and shouts out to Raw in the building, and
I'm sorry. Hey, forecast. One other thing. I'm sorry, man. Forgive me, bro. I just want to say, the matron had look at her whole show ties into all of this, man. She was doing a show the other night, man. Called Cultural Misorientation, man, about Dr. Kobe Gabon. Man, y'all need to go back and check it out, man. I mean, everything that she's saying is relevant to everything that we're talking about now. And I knock off right there, man.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect segue because Matron said something earlier in the chat that we need to talk about now. When she was like, small hats, white women, white bitches, excuse me, and gay people, and I'll call them faggots because if you got a problem with me saying that, then like more of a problem with me saying that than what they're doing to us, then the problem is with you, not with me. So I don't really care what you think, So anyway, and by the way, and I put it in the chat earlier, right? We on here tonight because they put a strike on this channel talking about medical misinformation, and we're gonna talk about medical misinformation still, just because they said that, but because they had you. But speaking of that, who benefits the most? Because it's all the same thing: affirmative action, DEI. And to be honest with you, when the young lady at Harvard got quote unquote fired for like not saying that, for standing up for the Arabs or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, that's what she did. But I didn't feel bad because I'm like, okay, like DEI is not for you, right? Because who benefits from all of this, right? So I play a little.
All right, worked under them, and they've been pretty good.
I'm gonna let you hear.
I've worked with a lot.
I'm gonna let you hear a Negro male talk about this though. Just listen to what he say. I know Cassidra will probably go pick up on it right away if it plays. Come on. See, now it's freezing up.
See, I did a quick video. I've worked with a lot of great white women, okay? Heads up, and black women. I'm talking about CEO level. I know a lot of guys may have different experiences, but I've been lucky enough to deal with women that, again, worked under, by the way, all right? Worked under them, and they've been pretty good leaders, great leaders, and just as good as the males. But it looks like a lot of those positions, not the ones that I know of, or there's a strong talking point to this. It's huge. I'm not going to lie to you. It is.
All right. I'll play somebody else a quick video because I don't really want to play homie, but it's saying the same thing. Who benefits the most from affirmative action, DEI? Because one of the dudes came on here and tried to be like, it's a difference, but oh yeah, okay, so we'll get to it because he's gonna add to another group that we don't even talk about, another group of crackers that it could be. So when they talking about Trump about to fire most of these diversity officers, who the hell you think he talking about? He about to fire? And y'all, my bad, because I know this joint gonna go slow. So Mark X is one of our heroes. We're about to be misinformed on levels because only Trump loyalists will be allowed in positions of power in this country. And the beautiful part about that, though, is that now that we know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of thinking that it's not.
CDOs, which is Chief Diversity Officer. And one of the things that they shared, and I'll quote here, is that the most common ethnicity among CDOs is white, accounting for 81.3% of all CDOs, which is Chief Diversity Officer. And one of the things that they shared, and I'll quote here, is that The most common ethnicity among CDOs is white, accounting for 81.
Cassandra, you want to say something?
I'm just enjoying this. Go ahead. I have nothing to say right now.
Okay, all right.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
MG2, Anthony, I want to play one. Well, no, y'all want to say something?
No, go ahead, man.
Okay. All right. So, speaking of DEI, right? Because we saw, and MG2, you've seen this, and I know Anthony and Cassidra, y'all seen this, right? So I'll play this because it goes into the question, I guess.
What is the union's response going to be in the U.S. Justice Department, or rather, Trump LLC?
I chose her because she's a representative for a lot of y'all Democrat brothers out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might as well be her or Roland Martin. You know?
Forcing the removal of at least 15 experienced career staffers across several divisions to posts considered to be less influential or focus more on immigration enforcement. One of these officials includes a senior counterintelligence attorney who played a key role in deciding to search Trump's Mar-a-Lago, which is the largest union representing federal and D.C. government employees. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Kelly. This is the order. I'm holding it in my hand. This memo, we can put it up on screen. And it went to all heads and acting heads of departments and agencies, shuttering DEI offices and other things. What is the union's response going to be?
Well, first of all, I think that we have obligation to educate the public as to what DEI really is, because number one, it's not affirmative action as some might think. DEI is about making sure that, say, a veteran may have a handicap, an injury from the services. And
so DEI is not affirmative action, right? Because affirmative action is for people. So DEI is actually more people added than we originally thought. Now veterans is included, so that's even more. Oh well, anyway.
Come to work for the federal government, DEI would make sure that that veteran has the, I guess I would say, the opportunity to work in a job, and they will place them in a position where they could accommodate that veteran, and so that they can do that job. So DEI is about that and about providing services for workers. It's not about the color of a person's skin.
And it's not a quota
it's
program.
not?
Let's just be clear.
Wait, hold on. What? Because they've been saying to me as a black man, I should be worried about DEI. And so it's not about a person's skin? And that's
It means that, not, and it also, I think, for a lot of conservatives, they believe DEI just means black people getting jobs.
That's what I thought.
And so when they see a black person in any job, they say, oh, that person's a DEI. They said it about the literal elected vice president of the United States.
Absolutely.
She wasn't hired. She was hired by the American people. 80 million Americans voted for her, but they
technically not her, but I would say that brother who with the bridge that blew up, they tried to say he was a DEI hire and he got elected or whatever. So yeah, they're stupid. Yeah, they're Neanderthals. Yeah, duh. They're dumb as hell. They don't know what they're talking about, right?
Can't see through her race and gender. So it isn't just about hiring black people and women, right? It's about disabled veterans being accommodated. It's veterans returning from wars are also under DEI.
Absolutely. And I see that as a veteran myself, right? I see this initiative as a direct impact and attack on veterans. Of the 2 points.
So hold on. It's not a direct, and on this guy, according to this guy, he's not a direct impact on black people. Is a direct impact. I'm gonna stop here. Yo, MD2, you've seen affirmative action. You heard that claim that he made and how it's different from DEI. He's saying there's actually more white people that can get in on DEI. So I don't know. What you think about his claims here? Because I'm shocked. I thought this was about black people from what they told me. I thought I was supposed to be hiding under a damn bed because he's gonna get rid of civil rights or whatever. I don't know. What you think, MG2? Oh, MG2 fell off. Let me see. Or Anthony too. Yo, MG2, my bad.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I hear you. Brother Forecast. anytime, and this comes from mostly the older Negro element, mostly black, i.e. Democrat, i.e. progressive, liberal, Kamala Harris loving, so-called, preacher, Reverend Chicken Bone type. It started coming out first is, when we're afraid to face adversity, and most are, I gotta be real. You brought it up with, I think Anthony brought it up earlier with the sisters that were gonna fight because the brothers didn't want to. In Africa, anytime that most folks, black, i.e. older, are faced with adversity, they put a straw man up there. Here's what I mean. In the form of this kumbaya-ness, instead of going ahead and taking some lives, which is, the common thing that individuals do when they want their way, we decided that assimilation was the new black, then feminism was the new black, then gay was the new black. Shoot, even a TV show, Orange, was the new black. Then climate change became the new black. Disenfranchised blue-collar Bernie bros became the new black. Roe versus Wade became the new black. DEI became the new black. In other words, afraid to go ahead and face the elephant in the room, and that's our enemy. And now, as this brother, who is no doubt about it, screaming from a liberal, talking box, soapbox, now veterans are the new black. In other words, that's a way of saying, well, if we include veterans in this, man, the massa can't hit us all. It's the old Al Sharpton foolishness. In other words, if we include everybody, until that, your brown-black coalition didn't work with Kamala, if you include everybody, then maybe we could all work and go against the man. Now all of a sudden, veterans are the new black. That's a straw man. It's a way of saying if we can put that in there, then maybe we can get some more, we can build our resources for comrades, for alliances, for allies. No, bottom line is this. Their rules, their laws, I don't care. DEI or ABC or whatever you want to call it, it means nothing. The bottom line is self-preservation for African people. Look, and I'm glad my brother brought up earlier Kobe Cambone, because that's exactly what he said, is develop that thing to start being able to go ahead and destroy these bastards. That's all that matters. Develop whatever it is to go ahead and liquidate them from the planet. That's all there's no other solution other than that. Anything else is a straw man. It's a diversion. It's cowardice. It's foolishness. It's a waste of time, a waste of energy, and a waste of life. Bottom line is we're in a Thucydides trap, i.e. a cage match against others. That's just the bottom line. That's how the world is. One big cage match. Multiculturalism or I should say King of the Mountain is not a multicultural sport. For everyone else, multiculturalism is a cage match. For i.e. the folks that are afraid of DEI and look at what he did to the civil rights and what they're doing to us, those are slaves. They don't know that the world is a cage match. And they're the ones, unfortunately, many follow and many die because of. As Anthony brought up earlier, and I'm glad I must have influenced many, because one of the videos I did several years ago was called Bagpipes. Why? Well, one of the best bagpipe players back in the 70s, when I'll never forget, that's what got me started in music, was Rufus Hartley. And the thing about a bagpipe is, if you really want to know the real significance, watch the movie The Onion Field. Okay, that came out, man, probably in the early 80s. That's the significance of a bagpipe. Al-Qaeda gave them some bagpipes. Okay, and what do you see them doing right now? Shoot, Saudis just gave $600 billion to Donald Trump, and he's sitting there, licking their boots. The thing is, African people, don't get caught. Do what you have to do to be the greatest threat, the greatest terror to your enemies. Not to assimilate, not to rationalize and find out why are they doing this to us and what are they going to do next. No, skip. I almost cussed. I don't want to cuss. F them. Just do what you have to do. Develop that thing that is going to go ahead and give you the edge and liquidate your enemy. It's that simple. Again, don't get caught. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and before I pass it to Anthony, I'll say a shout out to Bakari in the building. He says a lot of I'm sure there is black people always fighting for somebody else, ain't that right? But anyway, shouts out to my brother in the building. Ross said anything that them have given you can be taken back, and they will. Matron says simulation is death, integration is death. We either fight them or we die out. Our consciousness is already co-opted, but to fight to get
Brother
our own.
Forecast?
Mhm.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I've meant to bring this up a little earlier. Eric Rudolph was on the lam for damn near 10 years? And the only reason he was caught is because he wanted to come back and eat some McDonald's. The killer of Tupac was gone for damn near 20 years. The only reason they found him is because he bragged about it. They're still looking to see who did what to Biggie, and they still don't know what happened to JFK. Donald Trump is still trying to find out. So it's not like you can't get caught. Don't get caught. Y'all take care.
All right, peace, my brother. I appreciate you. All right, so Cassidra, you want to say something?
I'm listening. I have nothing to say. It's just I have nothing to say.
Yeah. All right, and Nicole Smith says it's not about a person's skin. They said it's to even out the playing field to make sure all white people are not in key positions. No, that's they literally, like, this is why I be trying to tell y'all, like, the civil rights thing and all of that stuff was I think it was a move by them against us when black people finally got to the point where they was like, forget that turn the other cheek stuff, let's burn this stuff down, right? Because if you even look at the law, like when they sued for the Brown versus Board of Education, it was because a brother wanted his daughter to either be able to go to a school on a bus or to have a school near him or go to the white school. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to go to the school with white children. What they wanted was their 5-year-old children not to be walking like miles and miles, you know what I'm saying, to get home. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if they're taking their tax money. So what they really was trying to do was not get their tax money taken. You know what I'm saying? So when they sued originally Thurgood Marshall and all of them, right? Because they be like, if you look at this movie, they be like, yo, see Plessy versus Ferguson. So if they ask you about segregation, tell them see Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like, so they sued because they was trying to get their resources for the stuff that they was taking their tax money for, right? Not to be a part of their system. But Thurgood Marshall literally went back because they originally won that. You know what I'm saying? They was like, you're right, it's not separate. So you got to have separate, the equal money. Now, they would have had to fight, but they fought to go to their schools. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if you sent Ruby Bridges to school, you can fight to get your money. You know what I'm saying? But, Thurgood Marshall and the NAACP went back to court and sued again because he said there could not be equality because if we can't go to white schools, we can't get the same connect as white people. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Right. Because that's the mentality that and he was a mixed person, but that's the mentality of most black people is that, we have to have a white connect to be able to thrive and have the best. You know what I'm saying?
But most black people think that though.
Mm-hmm. And he was saying like, the only way that we can get equality. And so he went back to court to resue, and then it took him another like the schools in Virginia didn't get desegregated until 1970. You know what I'm saying? And my mom would have been like 8 years old. She would have been at elementary school. So she would have been at elementary school when they was desegregating schools here. You know what I'm saying? But the purpose was most black people did not want to try to go to school with them. Their purpose was to get the resources, not to get their tax money taken. And if you look at most revolutions, they said you either stop taking our tax money or give us this stuff that our tax money is supposed to represent, which is a school bus. So my kid ain't walking, you know what I'm saying? But they hijacked it, and like that's what I'm saying, like, because then they saw black people was rising up and they was getting tired of it. So he said, okay, well, we'll give them this, especially after Martin Luther King got smoked or whatever. And, and your good old boy, LBJ, it was like, okay, we'll give them this. But if you go back and look at it, they was like, yo, there's an untapped market, the art of selling to the Negro. You know what I'm saying? What they wanted was that untapped market of you being able to spend your money. Because even if you look at Plessy versus Ferguson, it was the train company that sued, not an actual black person. because the train company didn't want to make 2 separate carts for a black person. It wasn't black people trying to fight to get into the carts with white people. And then it backfired because the dude was like a white dude, but he had like 1/8 like black blood in him. And then that's when like the whole 1 drop thing came in. But the whole point is black people was never actually trying to fight to be a part of their society, never fighting for DEI. They were saying, yo, stop taking our tax money first and foremost. Yep. Or if you're going to take it, you're going to give us this damn school bus. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Bakari's backstage.
Okay. I'm going to put Bakari up. Oh, that's Ben Uko. And let me see. There go Bakari. Yo, what's going on, Bakari?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much. What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, nothing, man. I just tuned in. I just wanted to come up here and speak. I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but I've heard people say all the time, use what you can use. But I've heard MG2, he the man who started it, but you have a problem with people using DEI and affirmative action. Then y'all have a problem with people using the military. Is it use whatever you can use or use what y'all think they can use? I'm just asking. Because if someone can use the military to get, it ain't fight, and you have to stop doing that, man. If you don't know, I'm just being honest, because it's almost like people didn't join the military, man, to fight for somebody else. That's not why most black people join the military. That's really not. Black people needed a job. Black people needed to eat. Black people needed somewhere to stay. They got 3 hot meals a day. They had a roof over their head, and they had college money. And when people who was in the military, I joined for different reasons. Some joined to keep them going to prison. But when people that was in the military tell y'all that, and y'all completely ignore it to say black people went to fight for white folks, dude, that's kind of, that's not why most black people join, man. In all honesty, that is not why most black people join. I just gave you several reasons. It's not because they gave them. Most black people didn't give a damn about this country. Most didn't give a damn. Even while they were in the military, didn't give a damn about this country. They wanted to go to college, didn't have money, they used the GI Bill. Then some who decided to stay in because it was easier, and they went to college while they were in, so then they used the GI Bill to pay their kids' way through college. It's a lot of reasons people went instead of just fighting for the military, instead of just saying they're going to fight for white people, bro. That ain't the truth. It's way more than that. It is way more than that. But the point is, for me, right? If we gonna use what we can use, what's wrong with using those things? Because shit, MD2 said use Donald Trump. Look, I know the civil rights don't mean nothing to y'all, even though your ancestors and everything fought for certain things. The little freedoms or whatever you have now, they fought for them. Some died for them, and I ain't even talking about on a national level. You can look at your local level. So, but you can use Donald Trump, but don't use those things. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. So is it we can use what we can use or use what okay to some people that say we should use?
Oh, damn, I was muted. Okay, so let me answer your question now, Bukhari. Right now, the problem is using you, because you keep saying like what all of these programs is doing, but the problem is when you actually look at it, who is bent, they set these programs up to be like, okay, this is for black people, but it's not for black people. It's for everybody but black people. It's benign neglect policy. You know what I'm saying? And even when you try to portray it like, oh, well, all these black, well, number one, yes, a lot of black people is coon straight up. And then even because you care right now what happens to America, because you just been talking about it for like however much. And even if you're a veteran or not a veteran, and that don't even apply to veterans and not veterans. It applies to athletes. It applies to black people in general. And the problem is you are not using these programs to benefit black people. A few people might use them to benefit themselves. But the problem is, even in those cases, when you go back and look, black people is suing because they're not getting what they're supposed to be getting from these programs. In fact, when they go into the military, and even when you say that, because black people from back then was telling you, well, black men have no right in the military. You look at every single war and how they use black people, but at least back then they came back armed and started using that to protect their own communities and not try to be selfish with it and be like, yo, I'm not a part of some greater thing to protect the community. You know what I'm saying? Today they use that to, like, now you like, oh, well, like, yo, we got to fight for even though DEI, black men benefit the least from DEI, especially single black men. It is white bitches. It is gay dudes. It is all of these other groups who benefit from all of these things that you was telling us. Even when they was talking about the voters' right thing, they was talking about Indians at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me ask you a question. Y'all, because you say y'all could use Donald. Who's going to benefit more from Donald Trump? Black folks or white folk? I'm just asking. White folks, right?
White people, right?
But watch this. So the point that I'm making is, y'all can say it's okay to use him for what you can, right? Yeah. So if it's okay to use him, so the people that can use DEI in affirmative action, why ain't it okay for them to use that?
Well, okay, let me answer this question, right? Because I wouldn't say that, because black people that with Trump, they ain't using Trump. They getting used by Trump the same way that black people who talking about using DEI getting used by DEI. It's all like affirmative action. They put up a black face and as a target to why you should dismantle it, even though black people is not the one benefiting from it like that. Even when you talk about all of these contracts, when you look it up, who is getting the least amount of money? Under Asians, under Hispanics, under every other gay people, under like whatever group you can name, bro. Like, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then even then, and now the one thing that you can say is, like, with Trump, now you ain't got no choice, because when you be like talking about HBCUs all the time, how you don't feel, I have no problem about what happened to black people that go to white schools, but then when I was with you when he was like, yo, I'm cool with the affirmative action thing being done, because now you got to go to HBCU, but now all of a sudden, like, yo, like, it's you like not feeling that way no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm good. Now you got to go to a black school now, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't feel bad for the young actually or whatever.
Well, you know, actually going to a black school is something that I promoted, not going to a black school. You are one of the ones who was saying going to the white school was better. You and
what I was what are you talking about? I was with you the whole time.
Who?
Me and who? Because I was with you the whole time, Bakari. I supported all the stuff that you were saying about black schools. We talked about it all the time.
You're right. Yeah, we did. We talked about it all the time. Go ahead. You're right. No, I'm messing with you now. Actually, go ahead.
Nah, but I'm saying though, like, what? Because you but my with point this is, Democrat thing with, like, you and Kofi with this whole.
I don't
Democrat
say.
thing,
See,
like,
nobody never heard me say. Nobody.
See,
but here's the thing. Nobody never heard me say anything about a Democrat ever. So, and that's the problem I have when I say no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You heard me talk about Kamala and Trump. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm black. But I can say one thing. I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you say Kofi your brother?
Yeah.
Would you say Koku your brother?
Yeah.
Would you say Oni your brother?
Yeah.
So with them getting rid of birthright citizenship, explain to me how your brother Oni, because you talking about, because I didn't say anything about a Republican or a Democrat, but it's Republicans that trying to get rid of birthright citizenship, and they do. Explain to me how your brother Oni, who you say you care about, could get back into the country. Explain how he's going. Explain how he's going to get back in the country. Now, how can you? Wait a minute. And now explain to me, somebody like me, whose grandson is a birthright citizen. Explain to me, how could you say I'm a brother? You know, we brothers, but you know what happened with your grandson? Because you can't say, well, we gonna come together and we gonna fight the military. We can't come together to do nothing right now. I ain't gonna say we don't come together to do nothing. So what I'm saying is, if you got brothers in these type of positions, instead of constantly screaming Republican and Democrat, what you did was you ignored what they were saying to make it be Republican and Democrat, when it really was not Republican and Democrat. And that's the point.
I know it ain't.
Go ahead.
Now you're damn right it ain't Republican and Democrat, which is why I didn't talk about it, right? Because remember when y'all was
mentioned Republican and Democrat, and I told you I never mentioned that. So I never said it.
I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't talking about you though.
I don't care about Republican or Democrat. I'm black.
Right. Yeah, no,
that's what I care about.
You.
Black folks.
To be honest with you, I was talking about people like Kofi. You know what I'm saying, but not you. Like, cause you come on here, like whether we talking about like other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? You like don't just come on here like when we talking about that and trying to debate and argue about this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put you in that. But let me answer your question, right? Because this is where y'all messed up when y'all kept trying to do this whole FBA thing, right? Because y'all argue this whole time, black people is not the one getting citizenship. Black people is not the one coming. And you were right, because black people ain't the one getting these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about birthright citizenship and all of this other stuff, it wasn't black people to begin with. And y'all was arguing that the whole time until this popped up. And now y'all went to the opposite side because you was like, look at how many, and y'all was right to say that. Look how many, because black people is not getting let in. What happened to the Haitians at the immigrant?
My birthright citizenship was always for black folks, because I know my grandson is Haitian, who is birthright citizenship, who has birthright citizenship. And I know that's what
you talked about how black people wasn't getting any of these things the whole time. And you was right to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Black people is always you know who's getting in here is the Venezuelans. Since people want to be technical, it's all of these other groups. It's the white ones, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't gonna kick out the white ones though. It's only the black one or the.
But those
the
are most of the
Mexicans
supervisors
whatever,
on the construction site now. When people see the Latinos, most of the supervisors on the damn construction sites is those are the those be the white immigrants, mainly Eastern European, Russian type people from that area. You see a lot of them. And I know people look at them and think they just white people from the United States. If you go out there and talk, you're going to hear a whole lot of different white accents. And of course, they're not going to say anything about them. And they really don't care about the Mexicans and Guatemalans, well, the Guatemalans, because most of the Mexicans are going back. They really don't care about the Guatemalans being here. What they're going to get rid of and what they want to get rid of, and they don't mind talking about how they want to hurt, because they've said it, was Haitian black people. And my point still stands. Yes, I do have a problem with somebody saying how they feel about black people, and it's okay for them to grab a mic and scream they want to hurt black people. And instead of, so when someone mentioned that, we'll just say, oh, Democrat and Republican is the same. No, it's not the same. Only one doing that, and only one is out here, man.
One
and I would
with
say
a smile
again,
on their face, and one just straight up do it to you. Because then you sit there, even when you talk about that,
my Haitian neighbors did not have to take their flags down out of their car until, dude. Now you can say that. I don't know how many Haitians you know, but if you know any, talk to them. None of them had to take. My neighbors did not have to take their flags out of their car. To one side stood up and said publicly what they said about Haitians, bro. That's when they took their flags out their car, and they say that's when people started threatening them, and that's when they started talking to me more. But we were already talking. That's when they started talking to me more about certain things. I got to take them to get certain things. I got sick and couldn't take them, so we planning over so I can take them and do target practice, bro. No, This is anecdotal to you, but if you talk to any Haitians, they will tell you that's really when they start hiding their flag. When that dude stood up and said that, bro. You can say one of them doing it with a smile, but I just know how the people who, even my grandson,
Yo, Bakari.
Bakari gone.
Yo, Bakari, if you still talk, oh, hold on, my bad. He fell back. Let me try to. SMD2. Bakari fell off. So, but anyway, yo, because listen. Because he was the one telling me, like, yo, they are not doing all that. They're not letting the Haitians in. If I remember correctly, they was whipping Haitians at the border, you know what I'm saying, under these people, you know what I'm saying? And the problem is, like, you ignore, like,
because a couple of years ago, didn't they ship them out, or they shipped them somewhere? Did they?
They did. But when you talk about like DACA, they're not doing it for the Haitians. And when you talk about all of these programs, they're not doing it for the black people. Globally, no matter where you go, the black people is the ones that is catching it, the ones getting kicked out. All right. He said he's gonna be back, so I'll leave it on hold for that.
Yeah,
so
can I come in?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we got to understand. Here's what we got to understand here. we all got to remember that we were more African people were more freer when we were segregated than we're integrated. We were well spoken. We were educated because we had black teachers with black pride. Then you have then you look at when they talk about this whole DEI thing. Well, the civil rights movement created things like diversity, equity, and inclusion. The whole civil rights hustle did. So you got people like Martin Luther King, who's his advisor? Bayard Rustin, the guy that was taking all the curriculum out of the schools to bring in all the teacher unions. This came to rise for all the miseducation of our children. Do people want to have a conversation about that one? Because I think we should. Also, when they talk about this MLK, Trump's not gonna really invest, because if he was really serious, he would have looked deeper. Because it will be the same forces, the same CIA forces that killed JFK, and people know where that goes, and he doesn't want to do no investigation on that. No, that's a joke. And it's all this grab in a bill mentality, this tap dancing, bootlicking, handkerchief head behavior all the time. And just remember because this same concept created Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, created ADOS, FBA, and created Black Lives Matter. And then they created the Tennessee Three. Just watch how that all went. All those things in years. This is the same concept, the same bootlicking, handkerchief head behavior. These limp wrist cats that were on that Roland Martin's panel. Mm-hmm. So what you have here is a movement that doesn't want to create anything. But what do you think all these corporations were doing? They were just pulling out. Well, I can answer that for everybody. Because they never invested into black people. You give all this money to we support Black Lives Matter movement, but you're the same ones that were doing. You never represented black people, never have, and you never will. I know MJ2 is coming on here because it's exactly how this whole thing was actually presented. We had actual educators, actual stuff that was actually moving it all along and trying to teach the people how to do things. Now we have to go into their stores, eat the same restaurant. No. We had strong pride. And that's why people have to think about what these movements like ADOS, FBA did. Because it was that movement that created the sums of all that in BLM. Because when we get to February, when we talk about Black history, if they talk about Black history, then we're going to talk about Frederick Douglass, another bootlicking clone, who was working with George Stearns. They're going to have to talk about that. Then they'll have to talk about Charles Sumner, another guy that was in the abolition movement working with Frederick Douglass. It's always a pattern to create freedom. It's always that pattern of movements. And then when people look into that history, they will see how it all goes and stuff. Think about it. We were more educated, healthier, stronger family. Now it's just all baby mama mentality because the civil rights movement created all that mentality. And I'll pass the mic.
What? Look, and I'm gonna pass it to MD2, right? But I want to say this, right? Because this is why I be like, yo, the most dangerous species in the universe is white bitches. But also I talk about the John Brown complex, you know what I'm saying? Because like the thing that makes them worse is black people ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And the inability to, I don't know, but like we can't act like, certain things don't like undermine, like it's just the constant, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't act like one thing ain't like you deaf by like anyway, yo, go ahead, MDC. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go on, but my good brother Bakari was on, and I was gonna wait and try to wait till he gets back. But I do want to go ahead and say one thing. Let's not be too disingenuous. There's a big difference between telling somebody that you don't care about someone else's laws, rules, and everything else, and actually using them. There's a lot of things I don't care about, but I'll be the first one, and I'll go to the grave telling you this because you've heard it many a time. Use everything as a tool, a lesson, or a weapon, or throw it in the trash. Being disingenuous and to conflate both is the same thing. No, anytime that somebody uses the term the education system, the media, the military, the financial system, that means that they're speaking from an absolute, i.e. a definitive term that someone else owns and controls. I'll never use that. Okay, again, that's being genuine. The thing is, and I have to tell you that, when a lot of folks talk about their military, and I will always tell you guys, I call it their military, is what you've seen what others do with that tool they call a military or a government. They use it for their advantage. They use it, whether it's that or Becky's using their form of DEI called affirmative action. They've used it to their advantage, okay? Irrespective of where they care about it or don't. And clearly they do because they used it. They will tell you from here to next week how bad affirmative action is until the next East Indian needs to use it so they can get an H-1B visa. Then all of a sudden it's, let's get rid of DEI. Again, they might not care about it. They might not like it, but they'll use that tool irrespective. Again, let's be genuine here. This is the bottom line, the only line. You're in a competition, what I call a Thucydides trap. And the thing is until we change our mindset in terms of our frame of reference being us, again, that qualifying term, that definitive term of that unfortunately many have used and been indoctrinated to use, like the education system, the media. Until we start using us as our frame of reference, then genuine goes out the window. Everything is a weapon, a lesson, or a tool, irrespective of whether you care about it or don't like it. That so-called affirmative action nonsense, i.e. Equal Opportunity Act, that was something that someone else did for their advantage, thinking that it was for our advantage. Let me ask you something. Out of the 60 so years that thing's been in effect, how has it benefited us to where we're not having this conversation like this now, or having videos that you're showing me now of brothers and sisters and 11-year-olds getting handcuffed? How has it worked? Clearly, there's a dislink and there's a disruption, and common sense saying something did not work out. Either we didn't use it to our advantage or somebody else is using it better to theirs. It's just that common sense. It's uncommon, common, and every type of sense in between. Okay, you can't make this stuff up. Again, let's just be genuine here. The thing is, Brother Forecast, is when it comes down to their so-called rules, their laws, their mandates, or whatever it is, use whatever we can to our advantage and against them. Make it a disadvantage to everyone else. That's if we're thinking in those terms. I've been trying to tell folks this for the longest time. And the main reason is because this so-called social engineering tool they call social media lets everybody be their own celebrity, unfortunately, whereas others are using everything to go ahead and destroy us. Remember, this is their platforms. You guys brought up platforms earlier. I heard Sister Cassidra mention fan base. Again, they profit on our unfortunate ineptitude. And again, these conversations wouldn't have been had if we went ahead and used, whether it was so-called hip hop or DEI or anything else, to the advantage to where these conversations would not even exist. The conversations we'd be talking about is what countries we control, what industries we control, what financial institutions we control, how many other folks that we've marginalized and put in their graves. But clearly, again, genuine is something that unfortunately is something I think we all need to learn. I'll pass the mic.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do, because I know we all ain't got that much time. We're gonna let Bakari say whatever, and then I'm gonna let MD2 speak, and I'm not gonna say anything. So go ahead, Bakari.
Yeah, I just have y'all been trying to I know MG2 said he was looking for a 12 gauge pump style. Anybody gotten their stuff yet? If you haven't gotten your stuff, you need to hurry up and get it. Because I know people thought I was just talking when I said something about Project 2025. But did you hear the Attorney General, what the one who they chose. I can't. What the guy was named? Matt Gaetz, who they shot down. Did you hear the first thing? Did you hear the first statement she made? The first statement she made was how they want to ban guns. Then when you read Project 2025, they talk about how they want their society to be unarmed. Now, if you already have, they don't want to. If you already have, they won't be able to take. And I know it's going to be hard for them to just ban guns, but that's part of their mission. And part of their mission is to keep you unarmed. Now that's if you're into protecting your neighborhood. That's if you're into protecting your neighborhood. That is something I'm into. That is something I have done. You say you was gonna let me go, then MG2. I don't even know what MG2 said. Like I said, my phone was ringing, and I had a phone call from my lady. I had to handle some business, so I don't even know what was said. But I wanted to come back on, and I wanted to say that because that is part of their plan, and a lot of stuff you see when I know. I know I ain't the gangster on social media. So when I say stuff like this, I ain't sounding all big and bad. But I'm the one who ran the motorcycle gang out the neighborhood. I don't sound big and bad on YouTube. I do the shit in the streets for real. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying, make sure you prepare and you have what you need just in case they are able to say for a moment there's a ban. Because if you don't, and they say it's going to be hard to get, and that's their goal, to make it hard to get, especially for me and you.
All right. MG2, you want to say something? Then Anthony say nothing in a minute.
Yeah, bottom line is this. First off, frame of reference. Again, whatever they do, whatever they say should not pertain to us. It's what we do for self. Again, you're in a fight for survival as an African people globally, not just in the United States and not just in Toledo. Everywhere. Every moment, everything, every fart you take, every food you eat, even when you wash yourself in the shower, every time you sleep, dream, or even if you pick your nose, should be an act of war. Everything in your mindset should be, what can I create? How can I protect? How can I go ahead and inform? How could I support and how could I emphasize with one another? And I'll give you a little heads up. Sooner or later, you're going to have no other choice. If you see what they're doing to protect themselves, again, Sister Cassidra brought it up earlier and had me laughing about their so-called meritocracy. No, you're seeing a dying beast trying to go ahead and enact laws that it knows it can break and has already broken. In other words, plausible deniability. So what? Do you not see that the rest of the world sees this hustle? And they're responding in kind, using that hustle as a weapon, a tool, or a lesson, irrespective of whether they like it or not, irrespective of whether they agree with it or not. So what? My thing is, for us, instead of trying to be celebritized in terms of our ideologies, who knows what better than the other? No, we're all still slaves at the bottom of a slave ship that somebody else is running, whether you think so or not. And if you don't, let me know where you got your water, your medical care, or even your bullets, and I'll tell you it wasn't you that made it. You're still subjected, owned, and controlled by someone else. My bottom line is sooner or later, and hopefully sooner, and I'm so glad Donald Trump is here to go ahead and enact that. We'll have no other choice but to look at one another as our own life preserver or that life raft, because sooner or later, if not, we all gonna drown. I'll pass the mic, Brother Forecast.
Let me say, see, when someone say I'm talking about what somebody else said, then turn around and say they are glad Donald Trump is here to enact it. So what you want to be enacted and what you want to be done, you waiting on somebody else to do it. So whatever you feel should be done. And what I said was, if they ban guns, because when you said, let's see who made it, and if they ban guns, if you don't make your guns or your bullets, I said you need to be trying to get them now. Yes. So if you don't make it, even though I do have a homeboy and I sent it to Koku, I have a homeboy that make guns. I have a homeboy that know how to make guns. That sent the picture to Koku, by the way. But if you don't make these things, it would make sense to go ahead and get them now. it would make sense to go ahead and get them now. But you say my frame of reference is what somebody else say. Your frame of reference is what somebody else feel they can do to you.
No, again, stop being
you just
disingenuous, my brother.
no. I'm not being disingenuous because what you said was you said you're glad Donald Trump is here to enact it. Is what you said.
Exactly. I am
so
so glad.
That is somebody. So your frame of reference is somebody else doing something.
He's enacting. I don't care whether he does it or not. It's what we do that matters. That's all I care about.
And that's why I said you need to tool up before they ban where you can't get it. So what are you talking about? So how is their words my frame of reference? If they can say ban it and you can't sell it in the stores no more, where will you get it from? If you don't know how to make it.
Get it however you can get it, whether it's in their stores or not. Whether you get Ray Ray and Pookie on the street or you sculpt it out of clay, you get what you can wherever you can for African survival. And again, not being disingenuous, unfortunately, it seems that that's it's being unfortunately viral at this point. Let me tell you something. I did not say that was your frame of reference. Matter of fact, I didn't use your name in the conversation. Might have alluded, and again, like they say, a hit dog screams when a rock's thrown. So what? Bottom line, brother, and being real, for the almost 70 years that I've been here, I'm going to tell you this much. Irrespective of what you have to do to protect yourself, don't rely on what anyone else can or should. Be hopeful of what they do, what they enact, so you can use that as your weapon and your tool. As I'm so glad Donald Trump is enacting the things to protect his folks, because that only gives the fire for me to protect ours. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit, Anthony.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, all right. Check this out. Brother Bakari and brother MG2. Both of y'all still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, look here. Let me say something. Let me say this. Okay. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Because you're a country boy like me, I know you know what that means. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Look here. Okay. You gonna do you do what you gotta do. You do things the way you do it. MJ2, you do things the way you do it. I do it the way I do it. But you know what? But our main goal is what? It's the same damn thing. So okay, we might have a different way of doing something. You know, a different way of going by doing it. And look here, you not wrong and you not wrong. You know what I'm saying? If the main thing is the prize, us keeping our eyes on the prize. MG2 writing what he said, Bakari, you writing what you said. You know what I'm saying? And you damn sure as far as the guns, yeah, man, I've been doing that for a long time, for years and years. But I'm saying we don't need to get bogged down in philosophizing and all this other mess. You know what I'm saying? We gonna sit our egos aside for a minute. And all us got egos. I do, all us got egos to a degree. Some of us got less of it and some of us got more. But I'm saying our main thing is the ultimate liberation of African people, the victory for African people in the end. That's what all us believe in. I know MG2 believe in it, and I know Bakari believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And they both demonstrated. So I'm saying, let's don't get bogged down. Look at we ain't gonna never agree on everything. We always have disagreements. It's always. You know, it ain't no look, no, it ain't none of that there. No, we keep our eyes on the prize. And Bakari handle his end. MG2, you handle your end. Forecast handle his end. Because you know what? It take five fingers to make a fist, right? If you take one of them fingers away, guess what? That fist don't ball up. And when it do ball up, it don't give a good blow. It take all of them fingers to make a fist and to deliver a mighty blow. Now I know that sounds like some church shit or whatever, but I'm just saying, look here. All right, let's talk about the stuff that we can agree on. Let's don't talk about the stuff we disagree on. Man, fuck Trump, fuck the Republicans, fuck the Democrats, fuck the American system. I mean, 'cause we some field slaves anyway. We working outside the system. But okay, some of us might work in the system a little bit. Hey, African slave in the system who working, hey man, you get what you can get up out of there. Us in the field, we give them we do what we have to do. But the bottom line, our ultimate goal is we trying to get the freedom. And we trying to get the liberation. We trying to get the self-determination. That's what we trying to get to. Now we might have different ways. But I'm just saying, y'all keep that in mind, man. We don't come on this show to argue, and not saying that y'all doing that, but to argue and tear each other down and destroy each other's character or whatever. We don't do that. Because, I mean, that's the main thing. That's showing hope, man. No, these niggas ain't for real. No, man, we don't do that. Of course, we have if we got a disagreement, okay, we could cordially, hey, man, let's find us a space where we'll talk about that, man, and see what we can work on. But I'm just saying, our ultimate goal is for the liberation of our people. And man, let's don't get on these damn streets, these YouTube streets, behaving like we behaving, man, like some of our other shows do. Well, let's don't do that, man. Let's don't do it. Let's work together. Bakari, my brother, MG2, my brother. Hey, man, let's work together. And let's cut off on the other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to knock off, man, but I'm just saying let's cut down on that and let's rally around what we can work with instead of what we can argue over. I'm going to leave it right there.
All right, and let me say real quick, I'm sorry, Cassidra, because I know it was like getting late and she got home late and all that. So if she do come back on, you can say your last words and stuff like that, and we're gonna wrap it up soon. Bakari, you want to say something? Oh, Bakari fell off too. All right, and y'all, I agree with what you said 100%, Anthony. You know, and you know, and I just want to say this too. She said she coming back on. All right, so I'm gonna let Cassidra. Let's Cassidra definitely got it because this is, you know, she definitely the co-host, right? So I'll just say this though, you know, listen, we can't act like you know, it ain't like one and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like what ignore reality about what's going on, right? Because like even with my brother Bakari, because I be saying all the time, I'm not hard on the, well, I used to say I'm not hard on the coons and stuff like that, because I understand, but I do think it's dangerous when you put certain people in positions and try to act like, okay, well, now we've achieved some goal. And it's the same thing with the Republicans, Democrat, because either way, it's still Negroes buffooning, whether you talking about dancing with Hillary, talking about can I get a hug, or whether you sitting there talking about I have a dream or I love you, Trump, it's all buffoonery. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the problem is with one side, they'll won't have none, and then black people will finally get mad. Because I'm like, I've been saying this the whole time. How are we not mad that they're taking tax money from us? Like, we should be mad. Like Paul wouldn't said, oh, if you have any kind of whatever about reality, then you would be angry. But we're not angry. We're comfortable. We just want to have peace. I said a long time ago, what do we want? Comfort, equality, or freedom. And the truth is, we just want comfort. We don't need equality, and let alone freedom. And it's crazy, but like when you put people in positions like that justice woman or whatever and try to be like, oh, well, they do something for black people, knowing damn well on any other occasion you would have condemned this person. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But then you make like say that's not a problem now when you want to do that. But when you put mixed race people in certain positions, when you put sellouts in certain positions, that is dangerous as hell, especially when you're trying to push a narrative like, oh, well, this is all done since, I guess, racism is over since Obama. You know what I'm saying? But we know what happens. But once they get in office and afterwards, we can complain about it, what they didn't or didn't do. But like, and even when black women be like, yo, I'm taking a break from this for 4 years, that's not a break. I mean, you're going to be right back at it the next time. Anyway, yo, you want to say something, Cassandra?
You know what, you guys, right now, what we need to be doing right now is planning how to come together.
You breaking up, Cassandra.
Brother Forecast?
Plan what we need to be doing right now. Everybody has their job. Kari got his. Forecast, you have yours. I have mine. But we have to, when it's all said and done, we bring it all together, right? So we have to be figuring out right now what's going on. What's the plan? How we gonna get through all of this? Some people, have moved out of America. Is that something that you can do? Is that something you want to do? But we have to come up with something. Even understand it. If we know that he's doing this DEI stuff, and we know that it's not good for us, or whatever, why whine about it? We can't stop him from doing what he's doing, but we can come together in our own little groups and be planning what we need to be doing right now. But that's not what we do as Black people. We always whining about what they do instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing. Why they doing their stuff over there? We over here doing our stuff. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But that's not what we're doing. Tired of fighting against each other. COINTELPRO. Okay. And then calling it what? My computer is doing.
Yeah, I was about to say it's going in and out.
Yeah, my computer is acting. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I don't know if it's StreamYard or what. Is anybody else having problems with their computers?
No.
Yeah. Well, you sound good now, Cassidra.
Yeah, when you start talking, you sounded better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, MGC.
Okay.
I mean, it's when you get a certain age, you start to see things, and you start to feel things, and human nature is my specialty. Let me tell you something. We are at one of the most pivotal points where we could take over this planet if we want. Yeah. But we're also at that other point where we could be destroyed in a heartbeat. Okay? And I don't want that. I'm not going to let that happen to you. I'm not going to let that happen to Brother Bakari. I'm not going to let that happen to Anthony, Sister Cassidra, you name it. It's not going to happen under my watch. We're in this situation right now. We're in the most serious war, not because of what they did or anyone else is doing, because that's what I expect. I expect the skunk to stink. It's because what we are not doing for self. It's because what we are capable of, but we're not approaching. And I'm not going to let that happen to any one of you guys. The thing is to let you know a personal thing of what I've been doing for at least the last couple of years. Y'all know I like to work out. You know I like to go ahead and work with the financial industry. It's not because I want to fit into their so-called society or I care what they're doing. It's because everything, like I said, to me is an act of war. When I put on my shoes, I'm thinking in terms of how are these going to be used as a weapon. When I brush my teeth, that's an act of war. Everything that I think of is how can I innovate something for us to win? That's all I care about. I want to see all of us, all of y'all win. In any matter, in any way, shape, and form. So it doesn't matter what anyone says, thinks, or does. I can't take anything personally except the things I haven't accomplished. All I could do is hope, especially for you young folk. Everything that you do from this point on should be an act of war. Develop the things that you can, innovate the things that you can, do whatever it is to know that at the end of the day, sooner or later, it's going to be you up against somebody else, and it's going to be physical. Prepare for it, just like anyone else preparing for battle. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. Bakari, you want to say something?
Yeah, look, I had to get up, but I didn't say thank you for letting me speak. And I didn't speak to everybody on the panel. I got to get up like 4 in the morning, but I think I'm going to get up there early and speak to the chat. But I want to thank you for allowing me to speak on your panel.
No, Bakari, you finna go to sleep now. Nah, hell no, Bakari, because you should, Bakari.
Yeah, whatever you said. And I want to tell Anthony, I agree with what Anthony was saying when he was talking to me and MG2. What Cassidra just said was absolute fact. What MG2 said, even though when I agree with MG2, I let MG2 know that I agree with MG2. It's okay. Shit, he done said things, I done said things that he agree with. It happens. That don't mean, like Anthony said, maybe it's the way I was saying it or the way he was saying it. But that don't mean me and MG2 ain't brothers.
and ain't cool. You understand? But like maybe it's a better place for us to try and work this out, and that's what we need to be working on. But Cassidra was right what she said about how we need to try to work together. And Anthony was right. And I wanted to thank you for letting me speak on your panel once again. Actually, I ain't did a Funky Friday in a long time. I'm gonna do one more, but I just wanted to let you know, man. I appreciate you for letting me speak on your panel, man. Peace and love.
You sound half asleep,
Yeah.
Bakari.
Yeah, I know you finna talk to me. I know you finna talk to me and try to keep me up like you always do whenever I say I got to get up in the morning. But it's okay, man. I'm only be at work for about 3-4 hours.
All right. You mean you gotta? You mean you gonna be? You mean you got to your plantation for a couple hours?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I ain't gonna even argue. If you want to call, yeah, you can say I'm
Hold
going
on,
to the plantation.
why you gotta go to sleep, Bakari? You a free man. You ain't got to do nothing. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, can't it?
Yeah,
You
but
a
I
free
do
man.
have to get up in it. But I do have to get up in the morning and drive, and I can't drive around sleeping. That might not turn out well for me and the other cars on the highway.
Well,
Because you got to remember, I make deliveries. You right? I can't. I don't have to go in as early as I go in. I ain't got to go. I can go in at 10 o'clock if I want, but I like to go in early so I can get it over with.
All right, Bakari.
That's the only reason I go. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I wake up so early, because I want to get it done. I want to get my day over by 12:01.
All right.
Have a good day, Bakari.
Enjoy the plantation tomorrow, Bakari. Don't work too hard.
And guess what? Guess what? And I am gonna enjoy the plantation, my brother. I'm gonna enjoy it.
All right, my brother.
Well, listen, once again, thank you for letting me speak. And you know I haven't been, so I had to come up here and cause me a little problems when I come because I ain't been in a while. But it ain't nothing but love. Peace out.
All right. Yeah, definitely. That's and we definitely need to work on focus on the things that is, and it's okay to disagree with things too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like we do have to be consistent. And listen, I am going to always call out like when the John Brown syndrome. We have this white hero savior complex where we think some white dude is just like some white dude, some white chick, somebody else is a good white person out there, and we will find them. But I'm trying to tell you, because I was going to show you not only white people, but like the Asians. We didn't even get to the rest of the stuff. We was talking about the civil rights stuff. We didn't get to I was going to show you other groups. The Indian video that you sent me, Cassidra, or the East Indians that they love to defend. But when I try to tell you, because I'm talking about like which I don't know, it's one of the groups of Asians that they call the Black people of Asia. We just looking for friends all over the place.
All over the place.
And
we don't have any.
And we don't have a damn thing. And we always think that we're safe, that stuff is sweet, and that I don't know. It's just like we forget history at the important times when we need to be standing on something that is more important. And if we ever want to have any political thing, then you need to have your own money put towards the candidates that you have to represent you per se. But I think that them taking our tax money is us still paying them tribute. We should be pissed off that they still take our tax money. You know,
and don't use it for us.
Right.
We should be.
Yeah. Like Matrix said, there are no good whites. They all practice anti-blackness. Every group.
All of them
practice anti-blackness. Cassidra, you want to give the first one or the last one because you're the co-host. So I'll let Anthony and MD2 go, or you want to go last or first?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't. Yeah, I'm just letting the men talk. When I see a bunch of men talking, I kind of back up and let them do, because that's what y'all supposed to be doing anyway. So I just stand back and let y'all, do it whatever way you want to do it.
Okay, and by the way, and shouts out to MLK. You know what I'm saying, and that's why I'm gonna get back to history, talking about the real history, because how Black people didn't bow down. We didn't do any of these things that we think that we did. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into more of this stuff. But right now we facing reverse diversity which I'm glad. Like, because if you remember, I don't want them near my mother. I don't want their crackhead children near my kids, near my family. So, my brother, MG2, you want what you to wrap up everything? What you got to say, my brother?
Whether you guys like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you think it'll happen or not, I don't care. I'm not going to let you fail. I'm not going to let them do what they want to do. I'm not going to make them stop, or I should say, I'm going to make sure that they can't stop you from conquering over them. And I'm talking all of them, all of their ilk. You're not going to lose in my world. I'm not going to let it happen. Like I said, Brother Anthony, Sister Cassidra, Brother Bakari, Brother Forecast, I'm not going to let anyone do what they want anytime, any way, any shape, anymore to any one of us. Because that's not going to happen on my watch. Again, 3 words to live by. Don't get caught. Y'all take care.
Facts.
Thank you there, brother.
No, hold on, MG2. Is well, I don't know how many words it is. We gonna get caught. So and before you get caught, what we gotta do? Find a really good place to
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, peace, my brother. So, my brother Anthony, what you think about this madness? And this is why I didn't want to talk about it, because now we want DEI, you know what I'm saying, or DIE as I would call it. But what you think about this whole conversation and reverse diversity?
Well, yeah. Hey, yeah, man, and peace to Brother Bakari, man, and MG2. And I like what MG2 said, man. But I think real briefly, it goes back to what Dr. Amos Wilson used to say, man. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, when they came with all of this multiculturalism and all this, you know what I'm saying? He said in 20 years you're gonna find out what multiculturalism is. You know what I'm saying? He said that back in 1990, in the early 1990s. You're gonna find out what all of this is. Okay, and now that they have it, they putting everybody ahead of your black ass. You know what I'm saying? Now you fought for diversity and for multiculturalism for everybody. And now who? The white women in front of you, the Hispanics, the Latinos, they in front of you, the Chinese in front of you, the East Indians, as forecast like the East Mexicans, they in front of you. You know what I'm saying? The LGBTs in front of you. Everybody in front of your black ass. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in front of you. But see, that's what you get. That's what you get when you depending on what? Their system. You want to live and work in their system. Okay, I understand you in the system. Okay, like I said, like we say, get what you can get out of it. But don't depend on it. Don't let that be your lifeline. You know what I'm saying? You gotta build for yourself. We gotta have our own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to have a long time ago. We had our own economy. You know what I'm saying? We had our own infrastructure. Before this integration thing came and all of this old bullshit. I mean, we have to depend on ourselves. We can't depend on the government and on the system, regardless of which one of them in power. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to be a free people, we gotta build for ourselves. We gotta do for ourselves. We gotta depend on ourselves. If you ain't building for yourself and ain't depending on yourself, you still on the plantation. You living on the plantation, you still a slave. Because you're a slave to that system. You know what I'm saying? You're a slave to their system. But like I said, man, we gotta do for us, man. Because ain't nobody gonna save our black ass but us. Wherever we are. Here in America, the Caribbean, Central, South America, Africa. If we don't do it for our damn selves, it ain't gonna get done for us. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna stay on the plantation. Like look what the brothers doing over in Burkina Faso and Niger. And in Mali. They saying, fuck it, man. They taking their destiny in their own hand. I'm glad them brothers doing what they doing.
Yes.
They taking their destiny in their own hand. They saying, fuck France and fuck the colonial powers and capital, everything. You know what I'm saying? And look at all of the things that they're doing now. Just think about it. For 50, 60 years under colonialism, and then for the next 50 years under neo-colonialism, how backwards those countries was, man, the economies and how poor the poverty that the people was living in. Look here, 3-4 years, Man, the people doing so good now. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying it's a paradise. But you know what? They doing so much better than they did for the whole 60 years under French colonialism. You know what I'm saying? Because they got their resources. They got their gold, their uranium. The brother over there supporting the local economy and farmers and agriculture and everything, man. And they just doing great. I mean, they got an upswing. They could see, the people could see what's happening. They could see, man, I can see my government working for me. What your government do? What this government doing for you over here? This government ain't doing a goddamn thing but watch you stand still. You know what I'm saying? You standing still. What? You got to get up and go to work every day, and make money for them. Yeah, you make a little bit for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're fortunate enough to be a millionaire or athlete or somebody that has some money and can live good. But for us working people, us working black people who got to support our families and our children, every damn day. You know what I'm saying? You like a dog chasing his damn tail. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you on a plantation. That's sharecropping. You know what I'm saying? That's sharecropping. You worked all year. At the end of the year, you ain't got shit to show for it. But the plantation man got shit to show for it. You know what I'm saying? But tell you, he can't do nothing for you. Hey, man, that's the way it is. And that's the way these homies tell you, well, man, this is just the way it is, the system. We need to get up out that system. Okay, we ain't going to get up out of it tomorrow, but you know what? We need to start building right now so we can get up out of it tomorrow. So our children and grandchildren have a future. You know what I'm saying? And wherever they take us, where we have an independent homeland or where we got to get the fuck up out this motherfucker, which was I want to do. But I'm saying, but we got to start doing for ourselves. And I'll leave it at that, man. And peace to Cassidra, man. You know what I'm saying? Cassidra, a mile of the work you do, man, and everything that you stand for. And the matron out there in the chat and everybody else in the chat. And peace to you too, Forecast.
Yeah,
I'll knock off right there.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And that's all facts, And now Cassidra, now we might be doomed already, but it'd be looking worse every time.
It's over with.
It might be over.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with you.
We
ain't doomed. I'm not doomed. Now you can sit there and be doomed if you want to. Okay, I have plans for retirement. I have plans. Okay, so no, I'm not doomed.
But yeah, I was gonna say at least we don't have to say "si, senor." We could just keep saying "yes, sir." Now we don't gotta say "si, senor" no more.
You may have to in a minute. You may have to say it. But I agree with the brothers, though. This is the best. I don't care what y'all say. This is the best time for Black people right now. This is the absolute best time because he just showed his hand, right? So we know and we see what he's doing. But sometimes, like I said, things are hidden for us to do what we need to do. We already know. Be separate, okay? Learn not and separate. I totally believe in total separation. I do. That's what I believe right now. I think that's the only way because guess what? We're still hanging out with them. We're going to get some punishment that they got coming for them. And sometimes this is God's way of making us and forcing us to move away from them, to get separated. But we so crazy about white folk. We hanging on for dear life right now. Why? No, stop. We so busy whining. We missing the bigger picture. Now is the time for us to be doing what we need to do. Whether you're going to stay here, but I hope you're prepared. Get your stuff, get your candy bars, get your peanuts, get your medical equipment, get your food, you have to be prepared. And we're not being prepared. We're so busy looking at what Trump is doing right now that we're missing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is keeping our head on the swivel. Step back, stay out of the big crowds, come on over here and prepare, start building. Because just like that Black dude was saying that, I don't know if we've seen, he said he was living in a white neighborhood. He said, so maybe it's time that he poured out and got amongst his own and start building our own communities. That's what we need to be doing. You build your own community, you have a separate government. That's what they did in Georgia. Why can't we do it now? Why can't we do it for us? Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we thinking about being separate but equal? Why are we not taking it back to where it never should have? Just like he taking it back, let us take it back too. Okay? If he can take it back, we can take it back. And we do for self, period. So I don't understand why we not thinking about, okay, let's get our own jobs. Let's get our own businesses, okay? Let's support each other. Let's take our monies away from them. That's the best thing that we could do is take your money away from them because they need your dollars. They love your dollars. We the one that's keeping them operating. We the one that's keeping them, okay? So why aren't you pulling your money away from them? We could be developing our own stuff right here, right now. We need birthing centers. Why aren't we developing? I'm gonna keep talking about this because I want Black folk to start thinking about what do we need to be doing right now? Building. We ain't got time to argue about what they're doing. Let them crackers do what they do. Let them kill each other. Get out of their way. Get your asses over here, and let's start doing what we need to do over here. Yep, you can keep your eye over there, but guess what? We're not gonna concentrate on what they're doing because we got too much building to do over here. Okay. I'm just saying, for the ones that's gonna stay here, my thing is my retirement is not here. I got till November and I'm out. I promise you that. I'm not staying here because I'm not putting up with a lot of this. You guys think this is all? No, you travel, you go out of America, you see that there's more besides this right here. This ain't shit right here. This ain't nothing. This ain't hitting on nothing. But y'all can stay here. You can do what you need to do. But my thing is, when I'm retired, it's not gonna be here in America. And I got till November, and I'm planning some stuff even now. And I'm gonna still do my foundation, but I'm gonna do some other stuff too. But this is not it for me. Because all of this stuff I see the writing on the wall. I hope you guys see the writing on the wall. I hope you guys, because I'm gonna tell y'all what right now, Black folk, y'all gonna have to come up out of America because it's gonna get so bad here for you guys that you're not gonna even want to be here. These foreigners that's coming here, these foreigners that's here, they're not even gonna want to be here. Because Trump put stuff in place right now. Y'all see him doing it. And you guys not even planning on doing nothing about it. You guys not even planning on going over here and build or going to another country. Molly doing it. Niger doing it. But what is Black folk in America doing? We see what he's planning. We see it. We see the writing on the wall. But we still sitting here trying to read the whole paragraph. I don't give a damn. I don't care what he's writing on the wall. But I know what Cassie needs to do. Put some stuff in order and let's do what you got to do. You have jobs online. You could get out of the country and do an online job. Haven't you guys heard of digital nomads? Have you heard of that? Why aren't we trying to do that? Your job that you're doing, can you do it from another country? Can you do it from Costa Rica? Can you do it from Panama? Can you do it from other places? Can you? If you can, why are you sitting here? Why not go visit? Why not find out where you can go? This is not just it. This is not this is not home for me. This shouldn't be home for you because they're getting ready to make it real hard for some Black folk. I'm not willing to sit here and let them do that for me. I'm not willing to sit here and allow them to take me through a whole lot of crazy stuff that I don't have to go through. All I have to do is get up out of here because I do believe that Africa is the now. I do believe that. And I hope you guys are thinking about that because I am planning it. I'm going to write y'all from over there. I'll be doing some lives from over there because this is not it for me. And I know it. Because I see the writing on the wall. But y'all have a great night. Thank you, Forecast. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
But I hope Black folk are listening and watching and learning and stepping out to do what you need to do for your families to be safe. Peace, family.
Yeah, and by the way, if they shut down this channel right here, then next time we're gonna go live, it's gonna be, I put it at the beginning of the chat of the other channel. If they shut this channel down, that's why we coming on today. So they might do that. So who knows?
But you know what?
I'm subscribed to the other channel.
Did you guys know about the young boy that was in the Black boy? He was in Antioch school in Tennessee, who shot up the school. He said he hated to be Black. You guys heard about that story? I know we was getting ready to go, but I just happened to, somebody just sent it to me, and I sent it to you, Forecast. And this dude, he was Black, and he was talking about the neo-Nazis was the best race ever. I mean, you guys should look this up. It's the Antioch school shooting, and he shot himself, killed himself, and it's, I think, Antioch, Tennessee. You guys look it up. It's the Antioch High School, and it's in Tennessee. It's in Tennessee. Hold on, let me see if it's in Tennessee. Is it in Tennessee? I sent it to you, Forecast.
Yeah, it's Tennessee. Yeah.
Okay, I want you guys to look this up. This young brother was Black, right? But he hated himself. And this is what they've done to our children. Our children hate themselves so bad because we send them to these all-white schools, and they teach our children how to hate themselves and love them. This little boy thought more white folk loved the skinheads, right? Who hated him, loved them, and hated his Blackness. And this is what they're teaching our babies. You think they're safe in their schools? They're not, because they're learning how to hate themselves. That's what they're teaching our babies. But we're gonna talk about that. We should have talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, we gotta come back and talk. I'm like, it said,
yeah, I'm gonna send some more to you, but I want you guys to look this up. This is the saddest thing ever. Where was his mentors?
Damn.
Where was his parents? Where was his uncles? Where was his daddy? Where was his, you know what I'm saying? Where was his leadership? Then white boys can't be your child's mentors. They can't be somebody that your child is looking up to. We got a lot of mess in the Black community that needs to be straightened, that needs to be checked. Behaviors, when we see Black folk talking about Black folk, we need to check that behavior. Like Candace Owens, we don't ever check her behavior. We just allow it. Anybody else will shut it down. But Black folk, you can say whatever you want about them, and we just get on with the conversation with them. No, shut it down. Don't sit up there and let somebody talk about you. And this poor child here, it's so sad. And he ended up killing himself. I think he shot one little girl, but he was planning on killing like 10 kids. You know, you read his manifesto, but this dude was in pain. And it's so sad.
I wonder if he shot some white kids.
No, I think the little girl he shot was Black, because he said he hated Black people.
Yeah,
he hated being Black. He hated being Black. This is his words, his manifesto. He hated being Black.
Yeah, I see. It say this book is dedicated to world domination by the N-word.
Yeah.
Genocide them and loot everything.
Yeah, this is what he thought about Black people.
He said death to all the N-word enemies.
Yes, but this was a Black youth, and you guys look him up, and it's
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna come back. We might come back before, like either tomorrow or whatever day you free to bring it up if you can.
Yeah, let me know. Saturday maybe. Let me know.
All right.
I sure forgot. I meant to give it to you tonight because I wanted to touch on it and just.
Yeah, I would have put this one first this is so sad, but this is what they're doing our babies, and we're allowing it. We give them our babies every day and don't even think twice about it. You go through hell in their jobs, and then your babies are going through hell in their schools, and we're okay with that. Why? But I rest my mic on that note. Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, and you listen, I appreciate first of all, shouts out to Bakari for coming on. Shouts out to MD2 for coming on. My brother Anthony, I appreciate you for coming on, my brother, and all the information and playing the Peacemaker today. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that somebody did it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's you did what I should have did. So salute to you, my brother. And of course, salute to Cassidra for all your time. Let me say shouts out to Nicole Smith for coming through. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming, Nicole.
Shouts out to Matron, and and like Anthony said earlier, listen to Matron live. She reads like great books. Even when I can't watch it live, I come back. I missed the last one live, but I had to watch the playback. But like all of the information and stuff that we see, and and she talks about like how integration is death, you know what I'm saying, and how all of that stuff works out. So y'all subscribe.
Hey, 4K. If 4K, so I just want to say, like the story that Cassidra was just saying, I hadn't read about it, but it plays it right into what the matron's topic was about cultural misorientation.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Matron. She said this child has been fed lies about himself. He was culturally misorientated, and Cambone talks about thus being an inevitable end to Blacks living in America. Yeah, I mean, you can't be here without going crazy.
Right. Exactly.
That's why I don't blame my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I blame the manufacturer of the N-word other than the N-word itself. You know what I'm saying? But really, they are the N-words, but they're the Neanderthals. That's the N-word. But shouts out to Raw, who is in the building. I appreciate you, Raw. Shouts out to said Nicole Smith for coming through. Shouts out to Bakari for coming through. Shouts out to my brother Guy for coming through. Shouts out to MD2. of course, shouts out to Erica Howard. Shouts out to Erica Howard and everybody else that's listening. I appreciate y'all. So and y'all support Cassidra and what she's doing with CassidraCheek and Rum and the Bush organization. She is out here trying to help people, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you know doulas, if you have like businesses who's willing to cooperate to help the Black youth, y'all contact her, you know what I'm saying?
Please.
And if not, just support what she's doing in her organization so she can contact and reach out to more businesses to get young Black people jobs, you know? So, and I will do this. I will let this brother have my last words because he's been brought up. So, and we're going to say, just leave it at salute to MLK, you know?
Yes, salute.
Everybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Don't allow.
There you go. So I appreciate all of y'all. And as always, we have got to start standing for something or we're going to keep falling for anything.
Peace, family.